How to Align Memory and Sustainable Development at the Juno Beach Center. Confronted with the environmental disaster that manifests a little more each day, the JBC began asking itself the following questions. What have we done with the peace obtained in 1944 in Europe, and what are we going to do with it? Out of respect for the sacrifices made by Canadians to liberate Europe during the Second World War, how can we act and do our part in the face of climate-related events that threaten peace today? In 2019, the JBC began a reflection on sustainable and environmentally responsible tourism in the view of respecting the ecological balance of the coast on which the museum is located and an awareness of the need to use virtuous means to attract the increasing numbers of visitors required for the museum to continue to exist. The Juno Beach Center's principal mission is the transmission of the memory of Canada's role during the war. The museum also encourages a reflection on the world today. And today, the fight to be waged is that of the climate emergency. Climate change is the result of actions impacting natural physical flows. The more greenhouse gases emitted, the more the planet heats up. The resulting disarray threatens peace in the world. The key action word is DECARBONIZE. And so, the JBC started analyzing its greenhouse gas emissions in order to evaluate its carbon footprint, act, and begin a transformation towards a low-carbon model. In 2019, we know that we emitted 1,096 tons of CO2 equivalent resulting from direct and indirect activities. Like those major global and national organizations aiming to reduce the planet's greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, the JBC has put forth its own goal of reducing its carbon footprint by 5% per year, based on the 2019 emission figures. Converting the JBC's business model to a low-carbon approach must be integrated into the corporate social responsibility methodology. Specifically, this involves taking into account the financial need for profitability while respecting the environment and society, and drawing inspiration from existing models or creating new models. So what exactly does sustainable development mean for the JBC? First and foremost, it involves taking action to reduce the museum's direct environmental footprint. It also means encouraging partners and staff to adopt ecologically responsible behaviors, as well as develop zero-cost best practices, such as saving energy and limiting pollution and waste. It also includes improving energy performance through cooperation and renovations. This requires studying and seeking partnerships, and gradually adopting new measures that may incur costs. Sustainable development also involves addressing the challenges tied to visitors' means of transportation, as nearly 81% of the JBC's carbon footprint is linked to visitor travel. It is key to promote the emergence of a circular economy and reflect on the best interest of our visitors by designing an offer that engages them in a larger civic reflection. And finally, future museum projects, such as the update to the room about Canada Today, the expansion of the boutique, and the creation of a coffee shop, must be undertaken in a way that respects sustainable development goals, eco-responsibility, and carbon reduction. To meet these objectives, notably carbon reduction, the JBC will strive to go beyond its own institutional limitations by working with the state, communities, and businesses in order to implement projects, contribute to changing mindsets, and build a more sustainable world for future generations. In Courcelles-sur-Mer, the JBC proposes to participate in a comprehensive project for sustainable tourism for the Juno sector and put forth the idea of an environmental hub around the entrance to the port with a view to reconciling sustainable tourism, memory, and the environment. The Juno Beach Center is, and always will be, a Canadian site of memory. This, however, is not incompatible with taking action to become a stronger player in sustainable tourism and working with local leaders and partners to create a dynamic tourism model, pioneering in terms of best practices and sustainable development.